Well, if I were to say that there's one misstep the Big C Church has made, it is kind of what I was talking about at the end of the message, that a lot of times we say to the church, you guys need to serve because we have a position to fill. You know, we have this thing that needs to be done, and that's just not very exciting. You know, you're never going to fill the roles with that kind of attitude, but it's more about, man, the people watching this, they have a difference to make.
I think there's also a danger in that, filling those positions is you tend, if you do that too much, it gets to be about the structure, the systems and structure instead of about the ministry. Our systems and structure need to be flexible.
Right.
You know, and I think sometimes we've been guilty of creating a structure and then trying to maintain the structure instead of remembering what we were here to do and be about
that's an excellent
winning the lost and nurturing the Christ-like, loving each other, things like that.
Right. Yeah, it allows the structure to be changed, added to, you know, subtracted from.
It's a lot more appealing if somebody comes to me and said, look, we have a place where kids have needs, or we have some people who need to be loved, we have some people who need to be served, rather than saying I got this slot on Sunday from 9:30 to 10:30.
Right.
That we have a whole. I'd rather hear what ministry needs exist and how you think I can help with that.
Right.
If I hear those things, then it's hard. It's a harder.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit at a previous church I was at when we needed someone to fill the PowerPoint position, and we found ourselves when we were putting it before the congregation that we had this need. We were kind of phrasing it that, hey, anybody could do this. That, you know, this is kind of a no-brainer job. Anybody could fill this role. And then we started to think about it and say, well, A, not anybody can do it, and B, if you've ever been at a church where the PowerPoint's off, it's incredibly important. But, you know, I mean, if the wrong slide's up, it's distracting. It leads people out of worship. And so we started to rethink, we shouldn't say that about any position in the church, that anybody could do it, it's easy, you know. But we say those things to make it appealing, but we diminish the work when we do that. So
the other thing, if you're just filling structure, the other risk is you're filling something that doesn't need to be done. You know, I mean, if somebody comes to me and says we got this spot and it's not filled, then I want to do the Dick Cheney thing and say so.
Right.
You know. So
Right.
Should it be filled? I mean, what's the purpose of it? And if there's no purpose, if we can't come up with the purpose, then let's go find something that needs to be done.
Right.
And how glamorous can mowing the grass be, you know? But Gene Swift made a passionate ministry out of that, and did just a real blessing to the grounds were always immaculate. If he got sick and couldn't handle it for a week or two, it broke his heart.
Right.
I mean, it just about got him down. He got emotional about it because that was his ministry, and he was physically unable to complete it. And people fell in love with him. They fell in love with him, and they fell in love with his attitude toward his ministry and his dedication to it. The memorial gifts that were collected at his funeral are very generously remodeling the 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
Without having to go a cheap route. I mean, they're going to be nice when they're done.
Right.
And it's just because people thought that much of Gene
Swift. Yeah. So, yeah, and that would be another one of those ministries where it would be tempted to say, hey, anybody, it's mowing the grass. Anybody could do it, but
to do it like he did,
but to do it like he did it, not anybody could do it. Yeah.
Not anybody can do it.
Yeah. You know,
we have men that do it now that are dedicated at doing it.
Right. Dedicated to it.
I couldn't, nor would I want to do that. I don't like the heat that way.
Right. So it's important, I think, as a church that we never diminish the ministry that people are doing, even in a recruiting push. You know, the temptation, oh, it's easy, you can do it, you know. So easy a caveman can do it, you know, but that diminishes the work.
The old illustration of the little toe may not seem like much of anything, but when that thing hurts, it hurts.
Yes.
If it's not functioning properly, you know, it's obvious. So
Right.
everything's important.
Yes. When you think about someone said that about your area, teaching or preaching, you know, for me preaching,
Small groups.
you know, in small groups, hey, anybody could do it. You're like, what? Wait a second. Yeah, you know, I'm doing it, you know, and I don't feel that way. You know, that it's a unique blend of gifts. So everybody's important.
If you
Everybody's
ever
valuable.
an illustration of that, I don't remember now where I got the idea, but in a Sunday school class, we were studying the body, the different parts of the body, like your one that you did include that in your sermon Sunday.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, I came up with an exercise that I walked into the Sunday school class on Sunday morning with slips of paper. And one was said left hand on it, one said right hand, one said eyes, one said mouth, and one said, different things. And I said, 5 or 6 of them, I said, now who's willing to help with an illustration about what we've been studying? We'll all have fun, but it'll make a real dramatic point to you how if all the parts of the body aren't working together,
yeah,
the job's not going to get done. And I took a big balloon, and the two hands had to, the right hand couldn't use your left hand. If you were the right hand,
yeah.
and vice versa if you were the
Okay.
left hand. And I think we even had eyes and a mouth, and you couldn't. You had to close your eyes if you
Right. Yeah.
And the mouth had to give directions, and one person held one side of the balloon, one person held the other side, and they had to jointly get it up to the mouth with the mouth's directions, given it, and it was
Yeah.
it was looks
Yeah,
clumsy,
yeah.
but if everything's not smooth and coordinated and working
No.
together, you don't get the balloon blown up,
Right.
sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's real dramatic, and it takes about 5 minutes to see people to see dramatically how if all parts of the body's not working together, you don't get the job done.
No. No, and in the Sunday morning service, you see it especially. If the PowerPoint's not running properly, or the tech isn't exactly right, or communion, let's say communion wasn't prepared for some reason. That's never happened, but if it wasn't prepared for some reason, I mean, it would be chaos, for lack of a better word. It'd be very difficult to do anything. So, but. Well, I think that'll conclude our talk. That's a good way to land it. Everybody's important, and everybody has a role to play. So be sure to join us next week. We'll be talking through the issue of hypocrisy. So that should be fun. So be sure to join us then. Good night.